Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we have a very exciting topic. We're going to be going over the Mythic Plus, which is basically the V Plus charms, which are going to be unlocking pretty soon. If we take a look at them, for example like on Lily May here, these Mythic Plus charms, you have a choice between 5 different types, and then you have the base Mythic level, just Mythic on its own charm, just V. And in order to craft these, you're going to need to clear floor 26 of Ajura's Trials before it will unlock. And floor 26 of Ajura's Trials is going to be coming out in just 9 days from right now if you started the season on the earliest start date. For example, like we're on day 53 of the new season, and day 63 is when 26, and maybe I don't know how many future floors are going to be unlocked, or if all the way up to 40 might potentially be unlocked. I don't know. But you're going to unlock that and be able to craft these V Plus charms. However, I don't know if you're going to be able to, like on day 1, maybe even the first few days, you might not be able to actually craft anything, because I'm sure you're going to need a lot of these Branko essences in order to craft those V Plus charms. And another thing just to think about is that you might want to get your heroes up to just the V charm set, the mythic level, before going for the Mythic Plus, because in order to get value from these Mythic Plus charm effect, you have to have 3 of the same type equipped in all of the 3 different slots. And like, I mean, that is going to be pretty expensive to craft 3 different charms of that same type. However, if you just get the Mythic V level charms equipped, you will gain the same stats other than this bonus set effect. And as for the Mythic level quality bonus, that is going to be activated even with the V charms. It doesn't need the V plus. So I think you get a big boost to your heroes just by getting those V charms. And the V plus will have the additional boost, but it will acquire 3 of the same type. And I think that's going to be a more later game thing. Maybe I don't think we're going to be able to do this immediately. However, it is still important to think about this, because eventually you will be able to craft these, and I want to talk about them. So I've basically locked into the Hands of Resonance. These are the top 5 heroes in my opinion that you'll be wanting to get these V Plus charms onto first, because these are your Dream Realm heroes who are going to allow you to score higher in Dream Realm, and they all get really important bonuses from those V Plus charms. Unfortunately, Phraesto is not here, because Phraesto's V Plus charms are mainly just increasing his tankiness. Nothing increases his attack percent. One of them increases his skill power and ultimate power, but unfortunately, again, that is not going to increase his major damage source, his HP per second damage, because it's already capped at a percentage of his attack. So Phraesto is not going to be a top priority for V Plus. For V, he's still a big priority, because that is going to give you the raw stats, like higher attack, for example, between Legendary up to Mythic level charm. Okay, now I'm going to begin with the easier ones, which are Shakir, Mikola, Smokey, because there's only one best option for all 3 of them, and it is the one that gives them skill power. For Talene and Lily May, well, Talene maybe is easier. I didn't look at Talene's, but Lily May's is really confusing. I am not sure which is actually going to be the best, because she has a lot of good options. And I would probably wait for other people to do testing before crafting it on my account if I were you. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the Shakir. So Shakir here, we need to give him skill power, and I'll explain why later, but let's take a look. So does he have skill power in any? Yeah, he does. So this is going to be a case where you don't want to listen to the recommended thumbs up, because you need to give him skill power. The 5 skill power, what is this going to mean for your team? You don't care about the other stat, because Shakir himself doesn't deal that much damage. He's mainly a buffer role in teams. That skill power is going to increase the attack buff, bonus attack gained in his Wolf Will by 5%. So from 7.5 to 12.5% per non-summoned ally within that range. And with his Mythic Plus ability, plus 10 exclusive equipment, each non-summoned ally within the aura is going to share the same attack bonus from Wolf's Will. So in order to maximize the attack of your team, you need to give him skill power. So there's only one best choice for him, which is going to be the skill power V Plus charms. And the other charms would only be useful for PvP content, but I'm thinking you need to focus on your PvE first of all, the Dream Realm performance. Okay, now let's move on to the other heroes. So similarly for Mikola and Smokey, they're going to have the same role in the team. They're buffing up your heroes, your allies. And so when we take a look at the charms here, we want to give them skill power. Attack and skill power is great. If you can have attack as well as skill power, that's the ideal combination. But if you have to go for anything else, that's fine as well. Now, there are basically 2 choices for her to get skill power. One is Sorcery Charm, which also provides ultimate power, and one is Arcane Charm to provide attack. Definitely you want to go for attack for her, because their Combat Fury is going to be applied to your allies who are within the Curse Sphere range, and that is going to burn the boss by a certain percentage of Mikola's attack every second. So the higher attack she can have, the harder she is going to hit in these bosses. And the skill power also really important, because I'll show you why. And the skill power is the most important overall thing, because it will increase the amount of attack buff when you control the on arena from 20 to 25%, powering up all of your team's attack by 25 instead of 20%. And the ultimate power would have only given her more healing amount, which doesn't matter for endless bosses. The boss is not killing you. It's about how much damage you can deal. And so the ultimate power is wasted for endless bosses. And we're talking mainly for the Dream Realm endless bosses, because that's what you have to optimize for. Other people are going to be optimizing for this. And if you don't, then you're going to fall behind in the rankings. Or if, for example, other people don't and you do, you're going to be promoted in the rankings. And so this is really important. Now, Smokey, same thing. He provides attack buffs to your team, and we're going to need to get the skill power charm for him. Healing and skill power is one choice. Ultimate power and skill power. Yeah, I mean, you could choose either one, whichever one kind of you get first. It doesn't really matter. The ultimate power will not increase the damage of his ultimate, so it just increases the healing amount of his ultimate. So it's not like this is actually a more optimal for his damage. Nothing will affect the damage of his ultimate, but the skill power will affect the attack buff he provides for himself and the allies. And so either one of these is fine. More optimally, probably skill power and healing. However, you're not really worried about your team dying anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So either one of these, you just need to get the skill power, because that is going to provide the higher attack buff for your team, up to 25% of all allies within the aroma, which is really strong. Okay, so those are the 3 key support buffers on your team that you want to get. Now, you might be thinking, what about Rainier? Rainier Mythic Plus is also really important in some Dream Realm bosses. However, he's not going to be a priority, because, first of all, Rainier's damage is low, right? He contributes hardly any damage in the boss. It's mainly for the debuff that he applies. And then the skill power or ultimate power are only going to increase his own damage. None of these are increasing the amount that he's going to be buffing up your allies by. Like the buff up of the target's attack, this is from his hero focus, which is not going to be affected by the charms. And then your tuned art to like damage, like the debuff, this is not affected by any of the charms. It's only his own damage that he deals, which is already so negligible that like he is not a priority to get V plus charms on. Eventually you would want to get the V charms just to get the set bonus, the quality bonus, 30% attack boost, but that is going to happen naturally. And so basically we're talking about the V plus charms a lot in this video. Okay, Talene. So Talene, definitely she's going to be a priority, even though she's only using 2 of the endless Dream Realm bosses. If you can get V plus charms on her, she's going to hit harder and allow you to get higher scores in those bosses. And also for PvP, this is going to help you as well. Just the mythic effect is going to be an upgrade of the crit from 25 to 35 crit, which is a pretty big boost. And when we take a look at her actual charms, yeah, it is going to be this one. I think it's pretty simple, attack and ultimate power, because her damage mainly comes from her ultimate. And this ultimate power is going to boost the damage of her ultimate cast. Attack is going to boost overall her damage. So there's no question about it. Even for PvP, I think attack and ultimate power is the way to go. Blast Charm. For Talene, there's no question about it. That is going to boost her ultimate damage by like up to 5 times, so up to 100% bonus from this, and then up to 25% bonus of her lost health. So overall, and this is what is going to make Talene amazing, and I think this may even allow her to overtake the top performing team for Crystal Beetle and make her the meta hero in Crystal Beetle. Possibly. I think that is what might happen. And so, and I don't know about the other bosses. Maybe with this Blast Charm, she's going to overtake even in other bosses, but definitely in King Croaker, Skyclops, this is going to help you a lot, and I'm thinking in Crystal Beetle as well, it is going to push her over the edge to be the best in slot hero. So that is really important. Then Lily May. So Lily May is really confusing, like I mentioned. A lot of her charms are good. Like, I think probably what usually ends up happening is you need to go for attack, because that raw attack is going to increase the power of her true damage from her kit. And so, for example, if you go for 2 offensive stats but neither of them is attack percent, then you're not going to be doing as well. So Titanic Charm historically has always been a good option. The crit percent will allow you to crit more reliably. We'll have to see whether this is the best for the boss, and I would wait and see for people to test it, but this looks pretty good to me. 21% attack and 40% crit. Now, the problem with this sorcery charm, ultimate power and skill power, we can take a look at it. Ultimate power is not going to be granting you that much, because her ultimate power already, it hits it has a high multiplier. This is maybe going to give you, yeah, the additional 100% on top of whatever multiplier it is. That is not going to be a big deal, in my opinion. And also, that is in endless bosses, that is not her main damage source. Her main damage source is from her true damage. When we take a look at the other things here, Rainstorm Ballet will have more damage on hit, but again, that is not going to be her true damage. This is from the skill power. And then over here, this is the thing which is making me think, okay, maybe skill power is going to be good. It is going to enhance the additional true damage that she deals from. But the thing is, this is going to be capped at a percentage of her attack, right? Up to 75% plus 15% of Lily May's attack. And that, so but thankfully the cap is going to rise. I like what they've done. Like for Lily May, they need to do this for Phraesto too though. And Corin, for example. The heroes basically who are capped at a percentage of their attack for the true damage, the skill power is going to elevate that cap. So, you know, skill power is going to be pretty actually tempting. 5 times 15 is another 75%. So basically, it's going to be elevate the cap from 75% of her attack up to 150% of her attack. So if there were charms with skill power and attack together, I think that would be the optimal choice. But if it's only skill power and ultimate power, I don't know. I feel like ultimate power is not going to be so valuable, but elevating the cap of her true damage is really big. But like, this is the so I hope that they balance this, because look at this. Phraesto, he's capped at 40% of his attack. Now skill power is going to give him increase the percentage health damage, but it's not doing anything for the cap, right? That is the problem. And if we look at Corin as well, it's the same thing. He is capped at a percentage of his attack, 40%, I believe. 40% of his attack. And even when you elevate for the mythic, like the plus 10, plus 15, he's still capped at 40% of his attack. So that is the thing, which was why Lily May's skill power is actually really valuable. But for the other heroes, it isn't, just because of like how they've designed, like basically given her that privilege. Yeah, I don't know. Like the other option is attack and attack speed. Attack and crit, or just skill power and ultimate power. And even though this is not providing you any attack, it is elevating your cap for the true damage, which is going to be very valuable. So sorcery charm honestly is something to keep on your radar to think if that is going to be good. The other ones I would not really recommend. I think haste is a good stat, but you need to go for that raw attack percent to power up your true damage. So it's either you give your hero more attack percent, or you increase the skill power, which will elevate your attack percent cap for the true damage. And I think this might just elevate it enough, this 5 skill power. So it's going to be either sorcery charm or one of these other two. Like, I mean, Gale charm would probably be the one with higher ceiling, because with RNG this one can get better, but this one will more reliably land your critical hits, so this will more reliably do well. And this one, the skill power is looking really tempting. Based on the skill description, it is looking like this skill power is going to be really valuable. Like the enhanced attacks deal additional true damage equal to this, up to 75. If you can increase the cap from 75, doubling it to 150%, I know you're not giving her any attack from the charms, but this has to be worth it, right? When this is a major source of her damage. Okay, so for the other heroes, Phraesto, it is very important to get his V Charms, because when you upgrade, for example, like let's take a look at what I have here. I have 9.2% attack from this 4+, and if I upgrade to V, I'm going to go up to 12.3% attack. Every attack matters for him. Attack is going to increase the amount of HP per second damage he deals. It's not by a lot, and so I guess it isn't like a huge top priority, but it is going to be somewhat important. But the V+, the problem is, like we mentioned, it is not increasing his actual cap of damage. Like, it's increasing this, but this is only for PvP, because in the endless boss, you're already hitting your cap of 40%. And so if it would increase the cap, like for example, increase its cap by 5% per skill power, he would be dominant, like with those V+ charms. But the problem is, it's doing nothing for increasing his damage. But for Lily May, the skill power is. So I really hope they modify his skills of Phraesto. Okay, but anyway, that is pretty much my short of it. The most important heroes to be upgrading to the V+ mythic charms, and also which ones are going to be the most useful. The only one undecided right now is Lily May. I think that there will need to be testing done regarding that, but honestly, the skill power boost she's getting to power up her true damage cap, that is looking really powerful. Yeah, so overall, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, other heroes, of course, will be PvP oriented, but I'm not going to really, we can do more of that when we get closer to the time, because that will be your later down the line priority. First, you need to max out your Dream Realm. And as for Ludovic and Alsa, these are also heroes which are used in one of the Dream Realm bosses, so it might be something to consider, but again, I would do it down the line. Ludovic does have good damage output, so if you could increase his... none of these increases attack, so it's just about the skill power. But does his skill power... I think the skill power will maybe increase the amount of HP per second damage he deals. Increase target's loss hit. Yeah, it will. So skill power, yes. Ludovic's skill power, really important. Give him the skill power charms, whichever ones those are. Let's take a look. Those are going to be the insight charms for Ludovic, best in slot in my opinion. And then for Elsa, Elsa's damage is low to begin with, so I don't think these are really going to make much difference. I would not make these a priority. But if you had to choose one, haste skill power, no execution for Dream on bosses because the boss doesn't go below 50% health, crit damage boost, haste. Well, this was the overloaded. These were the best charms for like the maximum ceiling, because if you crit a lot, then you can get value from that. So probably again in this season, well, there is an attack one. It would be maybe the overloaded charms. When you take a look at her skill power, what does that provide for her? This is for PvP. That's not useful for bosses. Yeah, I mean, this is not really useful for bosses. So for bosses, it's going to be either the overloaded haste and crit damage boost, or it's going to be the balance charms, the attack percent that will be given. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section, or you can share more in our Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. But thank you guys for watching. We'll talk more about this when we get closer to the time. But these are the key ones that you're going to want to get V+ Charms sorted for first. But keep in mind, you're going to have all three of the same type equipped in order for this effect to apply. Otherwise, they're going to have the same stat value as a regular V Charms. So until you can actually get 3 of a kind, is no use of actually going for these. But thanks for watching, guys. That's going to be it for this one. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.